Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about 5 tips to improve your putting game today. And today I have a special guest with me. It is Aviel Gomez, and you can take it away. Tell him a little bit about yourself.
I've been playing for about 9 years, and I got introduced to the sport by Manny. He gave me my first disc, and then didn't really play for a couple months. Started playing, and then loved it ever since. I started playing pro last year. I had a pretty good year this year, and yeah.
Sweet. And so we'll basically be switching off on tips and kind of giving you guys a breakdown of each thing, and we'll get straight into it now.
My first tip is for outside circle putting specifically. What I like to do and what I think is very helpful is to use your back leg to push off, and that helps get a lot more power into your putt, especially outside circle. It makes it way easier, at least for me, since I'm smaller, to get distance in my putt, and gives me a lot more chances for being able to make the putt. So what I like to do is just bend my front leg a little bit, and then my back leg, and push off of it. Not a lot, but just a little, and that helps me just be able to get more distance on my putt and be more accurate. So that's basically my first tip.
All right guys, getting into tip number 2. My tip is to try to keep your putter on the same vertical axis. And so what I mean by that is when you're putting, no matter if you're spin putting or push putting, you really want your disc to stay in line with the basket. Now, this isn't the only way to putt. I would say that by keeping your putter in line with the basket, it improves the consistency of your putt. But it's important to note that it's not the only way to putt. There's plenty of great putters in the world like Gannon Burr, Paul Ulibarri, Parker Welk that actually bring the disc to their left hip. And so this is, while deviating from the axis that's in line with the basket, it allows them to get more pop on the disc. The only problem with this is that you might lose a little bit of consistency, but you might gain that extra power that you need. Whenever you're reviewing your putt, try to take a video from the side angle or the front angle and figure out if your arm is finishing off to the left or the right. It might be causing your disc to finish off of the basket. Try to correct this by just keeping your putter in line, and you should have more consistent putts.
My second tip is to make sure you're following through on your putt. So what I like to do to make sure I'm doing that is to make sure I'm not stopping when I release it. I like to follow through afterwards. That helps me get more power on my putt, and they normally go in a more direct line towards the basket, and I think it will definitely, hopefully, help you guys to get your putts on target and not leave them short.
All right guys, so the next tip I'm going to be talking about is relative to your release point and when you're actually flicking the putter out and releasing the putter from your hand. As I talked about before, and how Avi's talked about before, you want to keep your disc in line with the basket and follow through. And so something I struggled with though is releasing, figuring out when to flick and when to put power into the disc. And I used to be a push putter where when I'd push, I'd actually flick low. A lot of my putts would either end up short, or I'd put a lot of nose up on the disc so it can get that distance to get there. And I figured out that essentially my putt was kind of flawed because my release point was not in the correct area, obviously. And so when I was looking at the basket like this, I would notice that when I release, like I said, I'd release down here. So it's important that even though when you keep your disc on that axis with the basket or on the same plane with the basket, you want to be able to know when to flick the putter out. It's important when you're practicing, especially a new putt, to try to figure out when that release point is and then dial it in so that eventually it can be committed to muscle memory. Playing a casual round or you're playing in a tournament, it'll come natural to you where that release point is, depending on how far away you are from the basket. So that is tip number 4.
Tip number 5 is to have some sort of putting game. I like this putting game. It starts at 10 feet, 15 feet, and it goes all the way back to 60. And what I like to do is I like to grab a stack of 5, and I like to, you go from 10 feet, you make it, you move back. If you don't, you go again. So you have to make each station, and once you miss 5 putts, that's it. So I like it because it helps me putt more from where I'm missing, and I just get some reps from like closer putts where I'm normally making them more, and you can see your improvement over time. Try to beat your score. 60 feet is the furthest we have it set up, but you can go further. It doesn't have to be a 60 feet. You can do it with basically anything at your local course. You can even put just this down on the ground at like different every 5 feet going back, and I think it's really helped me for my putting because I'll practice more from where I miss, and I'll get some reps from the closer stations, and it's really fun. I'm gonna try the game right now so you guys can see how I like to play, starting at 10 feet, and then I'll move back to 15 and 20. 25 and 30. Alright, so I still have to make 30 feet. So since I missed my 30 footer, I have to go again with my mate. Oh boy. There we go, stay there. Now 35. 40. Drop. Okay. 45. Get there. Oh, okay. I made 45. I missed 2, so now I'm going to 50. Come on. Oh, that's 3. 4. So I can no longer miss, or else this is where I get to. Oh, that's it. Alright. So I made 45, so that's as far as I got. Got to 50, didn't make 50, but I made 45. It's a fun game. You can just see your progression over time, and makes you putt from where you miss. So that's part of the reason I like it.
All right, guys. Well, that's our 5 tips to helping you become a better putter today. I'd like to thank Avi for coming out, and I don't think Avi has anything right now in terms of social media or discs that you can buy, but there might be something coming out in the future. We'll see. But Avi, you have any closing words?
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and let us know if anybody can beat my score. I made 45. Drop it in the comments.
Yeah, heck yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.
Make sure to go check out Disc Zone. Really good plastic. Highly recommend it. Been there a couple times. Some of the best plastic. Make sure to go check them out.